Hi.
Hey.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. It's early morning recording for you, little girl.
Well, it's not that early. It's just that I worked till 3.
Ew.
And then got home.
And then got home.
And then had to try to go to sleep to get up
right?
at 8 to do this.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much. I appreciate it. We have a really cool episode for you guys. We are going to actually be interviewing a lot of the folks that we met and got to spend some time with at ParaPsyCon IV at the Ohio State Reformatory. And we haven't done a recap episode on the convention yet. So that's this. Yay! We're going to be talking to another vendor group that we met, and they're B.O.S. Paranormal. They were really, really cool. We were right next to them in our area that they had us in. We're going to be interviewing a couple of the lead investigators and volunteers of the ParaPsyCon and lead investigators at Ohio State Reformatory. And then we're also going to be talking with Greg and Kathy Feketik, who are the heads of Tri-C Paranormal group and actually are the ones that run all of the ParaPsyCons there at Mansfield or Ohio State Reformatory every single year. They're the ones that put it on. So we wanted to give you guys a real in-depth look at this particular convention. And because, Laura, we had a great time. We had the best time.
Yeah, it was super fun. It was incredibly well run, and the site is amazing. You can't beat hanging out at Ohio State Reformatory.
I know. And like all day for a couple of days, it was a lot of fun. Most times if you go to a place like this, you are either doing a tour or you're doing one paranormal overnight, but we got to spend quite a bit of time at this location and see quite a bit of areas in the location because we were there all weekend. It was really, really fun. So to that being said, we want to introduce our very first set of guests, guys. They are the members of B.O.S. Paranormal, and we're going to be doing a recap, talking to them about their experiences at the convention. And so, yeah, here we go. ParaPsyCon IV recap with B.O.S. Paranormal. Ladies and gentlemen, please give a warm HoAH welcome to this amazing group and people that we're proud to call our new friends of the show. Here we go, guys. B.O.S. Paranormal, hi!
Hi! Hi!
Thanks for joining us, you guys. We're super happy to have all of you here. Can you do us a favor and introduce yourselves to the viewers, please?
My name is Randy Zimmerman. I'm the founder of B.O.S. Paranormal. Bill Mortensen, investigator.
I'm Holly Dukendock. I'm a lead investigator.
I'm Courtney. I'm Randy's daughter.
She hangs.
Right.
My daughter just stepped in. Yeah, hold on.
Oh, no, that's fine. We'll go ahead. We'll just pause real quick. Okay. Now, how do we want to start this, Laura? Do we just want to dive into questions?
Sure.
We got a lot of questions,
If
guys.
you guys are comfortable with that?
Yeah, I sent them the questions beforehand. So these are for all of you. If you, like one person specifically wants to answer them, that's great. If you all want to chime in and in your input, perfect, that's fine too. But basically, this one is actually for all four of you. So how did you each become involved in the paranormal?
Well, my first big paranormal event happened in 1986 when my grandfather had Alzheimer's and he lived with us. So he passed away in '86 while I was at school. So by the time I got off school, they told me the bad news about my grandfather passing away.
Oh God.
So then I was sad, and so that night I was up late watching TV in the family room, and I heard my grandfather walking around the corner with this cane, and he told me that he was going home. And he actually knew my name because I was like really
Yeah.
Sorry. So he turned around, went back into his bedroom, and last I seen of him. So that led me on the path that I am on today.
Wow. Wow. Oh my gosh. Randy or Bill, how about you? How'd you get involved in it?
Oh gosh, I'm half Mexican, so I was raised with a Mexican family, basically.
Okay.
Grandparents. You see all sorts of little things going on, and you question it as a kid, but your grandma's like, in Spanish, don't worry about it type deal.
Right.
But, growing up, and I didn't really get into it until I ran into Randy, and he brought my twin brother's camcorder and said, hey, we're going to go hunting. And that's basically how it started.
I love it. I love it. Holly, how about you?
Well, I have to say, when I was probably early teens, I started to have premonition dreams.
Oh, okay.
And then it moved on to, I would probably say I was 16, maybe 17, and my grandmother came to me in my dream and said she was not coming home.
Oh.
So she lived with us. But when I woke up, I knew exactly what was going on. Like, she was having a heart attack, blah, blah, blah.
Wow.
I knew all that information. And then, luckily for me, my mom, paranormal wasn't a big thing way back then,
Right.
She believed everything I said. Anytime I had anything to say, she believed every word of it. So I said, Mom, I had a dream, and she said, okay. And then she knew that her mother was going to pass away.
Wow.
Yeah, so from that point, it's just gone on.
Yeah.
You dig deeper to find those answers, and
Yeah,
who's
absolutely.
giving you that information,
Right, exactly. Yeah, for sure.
Right.
Courtney, how about you?
Well, Randy's my dad, and he would go on investigations and whatnot. And I was so eager. I wanted to go so bad.
Yeah.
So we made a rule: you can't go until you're 18. So finally turned 18. Then I had kids, couldn't go, and then I just started coming in maybe like last year.
Yeah.
So just here now.
Yeah. That's great, though.
I'm so excited. I always wanted to go over evidence with them and everything else. I always wanted to hear what was going on when he got home.
That's really cool. So they all help you, like, train you on, like, tips and tricks and, like, how to review evidence and that kind of stuff?
Holly's my go-to buddy when we do our investigations. I'm always like, all right, Holly, let's go.
That's awesome. I love it. That's awesome. Okay. All right. Laura, your question, you're next asking the questions. Okay. We'll rotate.
All right. So when was B.O.S. Paranormal formed? And we kind of just talked about that. And what area do you serve?
We serve all over Ohio, but we haven't gone like to Michigan, Indiana, different places like that. If something's cool going on and want to investigate, we'll go.
Nice.
Awesome.
And so where are you guys located in Central Ohio or?
North Central.
Okay.
Yeah.
North Central. Do you do private residence cases as well or just public?
Yeah.
You do?
Yes.
Okay. All right, cool. So brag to us about your team. What sets you guys apart from other paranormal investigative teams?
Don't say it. I think our team itself, how we get along, I think it's our
Dynamic.
how we investigate. A lot of teams are in there and it's almost aggressive. I mean, not in a mean way, but can you tell us your name? Where are you from? Blah, blah, blah. We like to say, hey, how you doing? Like I'm talking to you.
Right.
Because it's more inviting, and I think that's why it works so well for us.
Sometimes we go to investigation and ignore them. And they reach out to us and we're like, what are you doing here?
We do get a lot more responses that way too.
Yeah.
And I do think it helps that, each of us are sensitive in our own ways.
Oh, good. Yeah, for sure.
We kind of go, yes, we want that, but we want that evidence. So even though I might be like, I see something over here, I want that camera over there.
Right.
We don't just go off of our feelings. But,
Right, to try and validate whatever it is you're picking up.
Yep.
Right.
Yeah, awesome.
That is really cool. So do you guys all have roles on the team? Like someone's a lead sensitive, someone is, doing the tech work or what have you. And is that like, obviously those are your strengths that you're playing to.
Well, I'm more the tech guy, but in a sense, we do investigation. We all go off each other. Just because I see something, I won't say anything, but then Holly would be like, "Hey, there's someone right there." Well, guess what? Right? Then I put in my camera and I get something that validates what we're seeing or hearing.
We kind of feed off each other.
Yep.
I usually hear them more than I see them. They talk to me and I talk back to them.
Really?
Well, she recently just discovered that ability
Thanks to
in a
Bill.
fun way
Right.
that made us laugh and her cry.
I cried so bad.
We were doing an investigation at a cemetery, and we're like, "Hey, you want to whisper in someone's ear?" So Bill says, "Hey, talking to
Bill
Courtney's
straight up
ear.
was like,
Guess
talk to
what?"
Courtney, whisper to Courtney. And so eventually there was like an older guy just breathing in my ear.
Ew.
And, like, he wouldn't get off of me. And like he was just stuck there, and I was like, I'm fine, I'm crying, I'm bawling my eyes out. I jump in my dad's lap, and Holly's like, all right, I think it's time to go.
It was a Scooby-Doo moment.
It really was.
Oh my God. That is crazy. Bill, how dare you?
That's one way to learn you have a gift.
Right? Just throw you right in.
It really did. I grew up
sorry
knowing
about
Bill,
it
so Bill just like
It didn't surprise you that he did that?
no,
No.
absolutely not.
I would never.
We always do that. When we're on investigation, we're like, "Give us a sign, pull Holly's hair, she likes it."
Yeah.
Different
Pull
stuff
my
like
hair.
that. Yeah,
We still like to have fun, but we do our business too.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. And you know what? Sometimes you have to bring fun to it, because there's a lot of times where it's a, and we talk a lot about this on the show, is doing a paranormal investigation is absolutely nothing like they show it on TV. TV is showing the most active parts. There's a lot of time where it's several hours where you're just literally doing nothing but wandering around in the dark or sitting alone in the dark. So you do have to make it fun. Especially if you have an experience that's a little bit jarring. Like you want to bring that, you want to kind of bring that adrenaline down and joke and laugh. And so it's important to have fun on investigations as well. So now you guys, as we mentioned, you guys were a vendor at ParaPsyCon IV at Ohio State Reformatory. How many conventions have you attended as a vendor?
that was our first one. We were virgins.
Us too! Yay! Awesome. All right, let's take a look at the booth that you guys had, which was amazing.
Nice.
Look at that. Look at that. That is so cool. So now tell us a little bit about your booth. What did you do there? Were you selling stuff? Were you just trying to get the word out about your team? Tell us about your booth.
Well, we wanted just to put a word out about us. We've been around for a long time, but we never really ventured into this part of it. It wasn't until last year we went to ParaPsyCon because a friend of ours had a booth. And we're like, hey, we can do this. So then we got together as a team, and this is what you see right there. We're just putting the word out, and we started selling some stuff just to have something to sell at our booth. And
we got hats, mugs, we didn't have keychains then, we got
Keychains,
keychains now, we got shirts.
Cool.
What's kind of cool is that towards the end, because we were out front of the booth, talking to everyone as they're walking by, asking the very old heavy thermal camera and stuff. And at the end, people were taking pictures with us like we were a celebrity.
Isn't that so great?
A celebrity as a dad. I'm like, okay. Right.
Okay. Yeah, no, he's not. He's just my dad. My son says the same thing. My son is very much he's not a big fan of the paranormal. He'll he's designed our logo and he'll do stuff for us graphically, but otherwise he's no. But occasionally we will I used to be a paranormal tour guide for a walking tour in downtown Raleigh here. And I've actually met people that are fans of the show. And I'll come home and I'll be like, oh my God, I met fans of the show. And Coy will be like, and? Great, like, I know, I'm like, I want to get a picture with you guys. But my son is like, all right.
Yeah.
You're just mom. Like, he doesn't care. So I will say it's a little deflating. So, don't say that to him anymore.
Yeah, Courtney.
Yeah, Courtney.
But my kids kind of help because like they'll be in the hallway, they're like, oh, "There's a ghost, there's a monster," so that they help with it a lot too.
That's funny. I love it. Okay, Laura, you're up.
Okay, so why did you guys choose to do OSR specifically as your first ever? And
Paracon, yeah.
yeah,
I would say because we went there last year just as just to go check it out as a guest, look at all the other booths, and we decided that that was something we could do. Plus, we just love OSR. I mean, what a great building. We've investigated there several times.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's just a great place. It's an amazing place, and it's always run so well. You can see how everything is smooth
really.
there, and it was a great experience.
That's awesome. Yeah, I have to agree. Like, we've been to Paracons, like you said, as attendees, as guests. We've been to the Gettysburg Battlefield Bash. We've been to Con Carolinas. So OSR was our first experience as well. And I think that was the one thing that Laura and I kept saying over and over again is how well it was run and how well the vendors were treated by staff. Like,
Oh yeah.
every 10 minutes, somebody was walking by, like, do you want some coffee? Do you want some water? Are you okay? Do you need anything? And I was like, wow, all right.
Yep.
We're very friendly.
Yeah, very, very, very friendly. It was very well run. Now, we had some unexplained activity at our booth. So we had like EMF detectors sitting there, and like we made like the people that we were around didn't have any electricity like going. So our EMF detectors would go off. Was it Erin, Laura, that had her hair? Did she have her hair pulled, or she had it touched or brushed off her shoulder? Or we had some cold spots around our booth that were just completely inexplicable. Did you guys have anything weird happen at your booth? You guys were just right in front of us, so not too far away.
We had the rope lights strung around our booth.
Yeah.
We got some from North Kent Paranormal, and they would go off blinking. And also while we're trying to show the equipment off, it would go off.
Some
K2s
K2s.
and stuff.
Really?
And just on a feeling side of it, so to go along with the equipment, I think you guys felt it too. It just felt like you were dizzy.
The floor felt like it was wobbling. Yeah.
And so there was a spot in our booth right in the front corner. It's kind of where we had like our cash box and stuff. I would go there and I'm like, man, I feel real dizzy. And I thought, well, maybe I just need to eat. So then I went down to go get something to eat, and in front of the elevator,
Yeah.
it was the same way.
Mhm.
And I'm like, oh, but I didn't say anything. And there's a gentleman, another vendor there, and he's like, he gets on the elevator and he says, maybe I'm just, something's wrong with me. He says, I am older. He says, but did anybody else feel that? So he felt it too. And there was other spots, if you remember, outside. We were all out there.
Yes, that was one.
That were very unexplainable. And then
I came up to you there too, and I said the exact same thing.
yeah, and honestly, after I left, and I think I messaged you guys, did you have anything that went with you?
Yeah.
Typically I do set my boundaries. I did not, but it was just that one night. It was like they were just
Really?
all these images were coming to me that night. And then that was it. But
Yeah.
it was quite active while we were there, just doing our thing,
For sure. For
And I
sure.
feel like that is why we do back onto why we get a lot of evidence is because we just do our thing. We don't necessarily try to pick something out. They come to join us because we make ourselves welcome.
Yeah.
And I think that's why we all got a lot of evidence. But
Yeah, and
He thinks
That-
he's the beauty icon of the group.
You know what, Randy? It's fine. I'm the beauty icon of this group, so.
And moving right along.
I know Laura's like, shut up, Carrie.
No, that thing in the like rolling kind of feeling in the basement was really intense, and I know I felt it, Carrie felt it, I know you guys felt it.
Aaron did.
I heard other people. Aaron did. We were downstairs talking to what's his name? Shane Pittman. Is that right?
Yeah.
So I was talking to Shane, and he was saying that he was having the same experience too. So it was like everybody kept, and that just validates it. Like it's not one person or another person. Like it happened to multiple people all weekend long. It was so weird in that little area.
I think you guys had asked, or you were talking about it, and I had already felt it, and I don't like to say anything right away because I want to see what your take is and other people's, and then okay, that validates mine because I felt it too.
Yeah.
And it was really amazing there.
It really was. And guys, for those of you watching and listening, essentially what we're talking about is there were several areas throughout Ohio State Reformatory where you could just be standing there talking to whoever, but suddenly feel like you're on a boat and just sort of get like, you feel almost like your equilibrium is kind of jacked up and you're kind of wobbling and swaying, but not voluntarily. So that's what we're talking about. And we felt it, as Holly said, in a number of locations around Ohio State, and a number of people felt it, like, Shane Pittman and the, B.O.S. Paranormal group, a lot of vendors around us, Aaron Bush. And then we did ask Gary, we're going to be interviewing Gary and Christina next. And they're one of the lead investigators for Ohio State Reformatory. He said that's a very common claim, and people have that happen to them all throughout the prison. Like it's one of the most common claims they get is people get this weird kind of vertigo sensation in random areas of this penitentiary. It's crazy.
Right, and we know it's not the floor. That's the other thing. Like the floor, because it's like it's great. We were on the ground level in the basement because people are gonna say, oh, it was tipped or weird or sloped or,
yeah,
it was
weird
outside on
concave.
that ground.
Yeah, exactly. Like it happens in all the second floor, bottom floor, outside. Yeah, it happens everywhere. So
yeah,
there's no weird floor thing.
They're talking about opening up a third floor.
Really.
That, yeah.
Ooh, man, I hope so. That place is really unbelievable. That is so cool. That would be so cool.
I was like, guess what?
That's what I do with Laura. Oh my God, listen to this.
All the time. Yeah, I'm actually going to be back in Ohio in October.
Yeah, that's right.
I wonder if it's going to be open. I have a free day.
I mean, they do a haunted house there in October? I think you should go there. Take the kids to the haunted house.
To the haunted house. It's
When
really good.
are you going to be in October?
I'm going back for a wedding, so October, that weekend of the October 14th, I think, is so I'll be back like the 13th, 14th, 15th, something like that.
Okay.
Not long, just a long weekend.
Right.
But it's going to be beautiful weather back there in October.
It's not going to be 115. I'll fucking take anything at this point.
I mean, kind of, yeah. I'm surprised that your headset hasn't melted in the gross Phoenix heat. All right, Laura, you're up.
All right.
I think we kind of covered this next one a little bit, but we can go more in depth.
So what are your thoughts and opinions about being a vendor at that ParaPsyCon? What were your kind of takeaways, do you think?
I like it.
Are you going to do more?
Yeah. Yep. We did one, what was it? Weeks ago.
You want to know other vendor events we've been to? Is that what you're asking? Or just about OSR?
Just about just about OSR. Like, would you recommend being a vendor there? Like, what given it was your first, did it meet your expectations? Did you learn new things? Like what overall, just kind of what was your takeaway
was
from it?
a perfect one, I think, because it's so organized.
Yeah.
So as a first vendor event, it being so organized, you didn't have any questions. They had already had those out there, and they're
Yep.
pretty good at just, this is what you do, this is where you're at, here you go. Any questions, come find us. Or they were just there at our table all the time. You know?
All the time.
Yep. So
We already reserved our spot for next year.
Did you
Same
really?
spot. Same
Oh,
spot.
that's cool.
same spot. That's great. That's great. Have you decided to?
Like perfect because as soon as you walk in the doorway, it's like right there.
Boom, you were right there. Yeah, exactly. Now, are you going to be doing anything different from your booth this year to next year? Have you decided you want to tweak it, maybe kind of take a different approach?
Yeah, I'll work out a few new tricks and everything. I'm trying to get a touch sensitive TV so I can just sit there and touch a video and stuff when people walk by.
That's
And that's
cool.
what we did. We played the videos,
Yeah.
you know, some of our best of reel,
Yeah.
and people would stand and they could watch it, and we had all their equipment out and they could check it all out. So, you know, those, yes, we're investigators and we know what they are, but not everyone is an investigator.
Yeah.
They just like to come and check it out. So, you know, explaining, I think our booth is going to be a little bit bigger as well.
That
Great.
way you know how better to set it up. We
Yeah.
got it now.
So we'll probably just have more of a setup, probably more merch, you know, and just some other things set up for it.
That's awesome.
I know.
Right on.
Exciting.
Yeah. I know, right? They're a ton of fun, but a lot goes
yeah.
into them. And I don't think people realize, God, Laura, we were planning this. So when did we, I think, July, August, last year we signed up and became vendors, and then we started planning. We had no idea like what to do, what to have, what the table should look like, what to sell, we didn't know anything. So it was a lot of planning that goes into being a vendor at one of these events. And the fact that they made it so easy for us was just, I can't speak highly enough about it. I definitely would recommend it. There's a lot of traffic that goes in. There were some slow moments, but for the most part, there was a lot of people in and out of that.
Honestly, I hate to say it, but those slow moments, I was like, oh, thank goodness I'm down. You know,
Yeah.
because we didn't sit. We were talking. We were.
I'm a shy person. I was behind the booth.
She's
I'm
very
really,
shy.
really horrible with confrontation and everything like that. So I was just like, hey, I'm here.
Right? Yeah. Answer any like basic questions that folks have. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, it's definitely one that I would recommend. If you guys are in the paranormal community and you want to showcase whatever it is that you have, maybe you sell crystals, maybe you do tarot readings, maybe you make really creepy freaking dolls like that booth across from you guys. Oh my God.
I bought one of the dolls.
Did you really?
No.
Oh my God.
I did.
We
I'll
were
send
looking
you-
at, yes, do that. Send us a picture because God, those dolls were creepy, super creepy. But maybe you do that. Maybe you sell, like you make your own Ouija boards. Maybe you make your own dolls. Maybe you do whatever it is you do. We recommend going and becoming a vendor at ParaPsyCon IV now. For next year, it's going to be the same weekend in 2024. But I will say you need to, if you want to, you need to register to be a vendor now. Right now. They had 93 vendors last year. I'm sure they're going to have more next year, but they fill up really quick and they get a huge mile-long wait list. It's a very, it's a hot commodity as far as being a vendor at a paracon. ParaPsyCon IV at Ohio State Reformatory is a hot commodity. So if you want to do it, get in right now. We are actually not going to be at next year's ParaPsyCon. I think, yeah, there's another one that happens, I think the same weekend at Penhurst Asylum. And I think we're gonna try and do that one. We always want to try and go to like new places that we've never been and new cities we've never been to. So I think we're going to try to do Penhurst Asylum next year, and it's the same weekend.
I were at that one while we were at OSR. So.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You know.
yeah.
Yeah.
Plus,
So
I always want to go to new places. Like I want to see. I've never been to Penrose Asylum. I had never been to OSR, so it's a really good reason to go hang out for the
1,000%.
weekend, see a new building, see a new, have a new
1,000%.
experiences. There's so many iconic places to go.
I know, absolutely. So now, ParaPsyCon, Ohio State Reformatory, any location that you guys have investigated, what is the craziest thing that you've had happen in an investigation? Either as a team or individually, like, what is the one thing that stands out as just the most bananas thing?
I'm still new. I don't really have the bananas.
Except for the old guy breathing in your ear.
Right.
Yeah.
I don't know. For me, I'm not really sure. I mean,
I know we did Collar Cemetery a few years back in Sandusky. It's a big,
Yeah.
massive graveyard. And I was standing on one end of the cemetery, and Randy was across the way. All of a sudden, into the bushes I go, and Randy goes, "What just kicked you?" I'm like, "You couldn't help me?" What the hell?
Randy, was it you that kicked him?
I use my Goku.
Yeah.
He's your sacrifice. You check it out.
He may not look long, but he can run. He
Yeah,
can run
video of
pretty
that.
fast.
I got a video of that.
All you gotta do is run faster than the three of them. That's all you gotta do.
Gone.
Hey,
I'm
I got bad
gone.
knees. I can't run for
These two are called.
nothing. Yeah.
We don't even need to slow down.
I just sit down. Here I am.
I love it. I love it. All right. Well, you guys, what is on the horizon for B.O.S. Paranormal? What do you guys have coming up as far as investigations or conventions? Where can people find you?
well, I would say August 1st,
Yeah.
we are going to a battlefield, a local battlefield, which we just kind of got the info on, and that is
Okay.
the anniversary. So it came quick.
Ooh, yeah.
We got permission to do that. So that's going to be August 1st. I might be on TikTok live with that investigation. So
Cool.
if you want to join us on TikTok, that's going to be Brave Ohio Spook Seekers. And that's kind of our thing for all of our social media. It's just Brave Ohio Spook Seekers.
Okay, that's the handle all across.
Yeah.
And then after that, another one in August, we will be going to the Bell Mansion.
Cool.
It's kind of a public hunt, but kind of not. They had limited amount of people. We'll be going there with Keith Age. He is, I think he's out of Kentucky, and they call him like the rock and roll ghost hunter.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So we'll be going there. I believe they're going to be filming something. I'm not sure. I forget the name of it, but they'll be filming an episode of their season of something. And
That's
but
cool.
after that, we have another paracon in September. That will be it will be MadCon. MadCon is at Madison Seminary.
Ooh, damn. Shut up. Really?
Yes. So we'll be going there as vendors.
I'm so excited.
I know. So I'm like, oh God, I wonder if I could go. I wonder if I can get up there.
So you absolutely can go. And then I believe the next one is going to be, I think we're doing a big, we've been calling it the TikTok Parafam investigation. So we have put together a bunch of teams from all over.
Yeah.
And we'll be going to Auglaize Village in Defiance, Ohio. It is huge. There's like 30 acres, like
Yes.
20 buildings. So we are all getting together. There's people from Louisiana, Wisconsin, just all over.
All
We're all
over.
going to meet here and do a huge investigation, and it'll be a TikTok extravaganza because everybody's going to go live. So
1,000%. That's going to be amazing. That's going to be so amazing.
and in between all of those things, there will be other investigations,
Local hunts around
local
here.
hunts,
Yeah.
whatever.
Hunt with us. Try that out for a size type deal.
Oh, that's really cool. That's a really cool idea. We do that on occasion. We do like a podcast fans and friends event where we invite everybody to come to like a certain location, and some of them have never investigated before. Some of them have, and we just kind of take them on a tour of the location, give them the equipment and set them free. And then, then we go through and like review like the evidence or anything that they might have captured. We've got one coming up. We're going to Hollywood next year, and we're investigating an iconic location that we are not revealing as of yet. But yeah, it's gonna be really, really cool and exciting. So we're excited about that. I love those kinds of events because I always learn something new, or a new technique or a new approach from working with people I've never worked with before, and new investigators specifically. They bring a fresh perspective to the job, because, you know, they're curious and they ask really good questions and things maybe you never thought of. And so I really do enjoy that kind of interaction. So that being said, and this question is for all four of you individually, and Courtney, specifically you, because you're the newest. We'll start with you. But what is your advice for new paranormal investigators?
Just don't be scared. Just if you have questions, definitely ask questions.
For sure.
I'm always constantly like I'm still nervous with it because I'm so new. So I'm not exactly sure how to react to some things. So I'll just constantly ask questions and always be open to things that happen.
Yeah. Yeah. Great. I love it. It's a great answer. And you know what? I always ask this question of our guests, and I never get the same answer from any of you. No, that's the first time we've gotten that answer. So that's perfect. Holly, how about you?
I would say, you know, just go into it with respect, because these spirits are people. We're people. Maybe not all of them, but you know, I would say
majority.
The vast majority. They were people once too, and you know, you need to go in it with respect and show them the respect that they deserve, and you know, just treat them like people, like you would every day.
Yeah, absolutely.
As far as starting out, if you wanted to start out as a paranormal investigator, equipment wise, everybody always asks, what equipment do I need? Yep. I say a voice recorder and yourself and a K2. That would be your basic stuff.
Basic stuff. You can get it on Amazon.
Yep. And it's not expensive.
No.
You know, and your phone, you can use it as a voice recorder. You can use it as your video camera. Yep. It is such a great piece of equipment, but the only thing I would suggest is if you use your phone, put it in airplane mode, because your phone will set off a lot of equipment.
That is an excellent tip. That's an excellent tip. And it was actually something I didn't know.
Yeah. I mean, your phone, you know, especially some of the newer ones, my phone, if someone were to call or text me, I can set off a K2 from about 4 feet or more away.
Oh my, okay. Yeah, I love it. That's awesome. Yeah. All right. Randy, how about you? What's your advice for a new investigator?
Open mind.
Yeah.
Open mind. And go into it, you know, the open mind. That way you can, because a lot of times people see things and they don't think they're seeing it, you know, but the open mind, you're like, holy shit.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
Yeah, for sure. Bill, how about you?
Nothing really. These guys got it all covered.
Did they get it all covered? Nothing like a good pair of running shoes, or maybe like knee pads if you get pushed.
Definitely running shoes. But if you got bad knees, then you might just sit down and enjoy the show.
Okay.
Or in Bill's case, a fast car.
Right.
Fast car.
We're not going to worry about that.
We'll bring you a motorized scooter. You can go fast.
Yeah.
Right? One of those Razor scooters? That would be so crazy.
That's an idea.
Mobile base camp on a scooter.
Right?
Yeah. Well, and they're really quiet too. So, I mean, you could be zipping around all kinds of places. I think that would be best used for like Trans-Allegheny or like Waverly, that's got like a really huge, like long floors.
Trans-Allegheny's huge. I've been there.
Yeah. All right, guys. Well, that concludes our interview questions for you. However, as we like to do with guests on the show, it's a new segment that we bring to History of a Haunting. It's called Get to Know Our Guests. And essentially what we're going to do is it's lightning round questions for each of you. So each of you have your own set of 10 lightning round questions. And Laura is going to be the one that runs the game. So she's going to let you know what the rules are, and then she is going to ask you your questions. Now, these are not done in any particular order. It's all completely random as to who goes first. So I'm going to zip it, and I'm going to let Laura take it from here.
Okay, it's super simple. So basically, I'm going to ask you a question. Just the first thing that comes to mind. I'm going to give you 2 options, and just pick, whichever one sounds best to you. You just go with it, and you don't have to explain anything. Just give us the answer, right? Okay, so let's do Courtney first. All right, the newbie is thrown into the fire. Let's go.
Yeah, the sacrifice.
I'm nervous.
All right.
Sweating.
Oh my goodness.
All right, you ready? No, it's not like that. Okay, so get it done first or wait until the last minute?
Wait until the last minute.
Okay, read the book or watch the movie?
Watch the movie.
Locked in alone for 72 hours. The Conjuring House or the Winchester Mystery House?
Oh gosh. I'm gonna do Conjuring.
Nice. Have more time or have more money?
More time.
Would you rather see a crawling shadow figure or a ghostly hand wrap around a doorway?
Ghostly hand.
Coincidence or fate?
What is it?
Coincidence or fate?
Coincidence.
EMF detector or thermal camera?
Thermal.
Sleep in or take a nap?
Take a nap.
Do you kill the bugs that you find inside or do you take them outside?
I kill him.
Same girl, same.
When investigating and something startles you, do you scream or do you flinch?
Flinch.
Nice. All right, good job. See,
Ice cream. Yeah, see, that wasn't that hard.
Hey.
I don't want something crawling at me, so I'm good. That's when you need those running shoes.
right?
For Dad.
Yeah, the bugs I run.
No,
so-
the bugs.
And scream.
Yeah. Run, scream. Yeah. The whole
Oh my
bit.
God. You know what's coming? She goes, Mom, the bug's dead. I'm like, put it down.
Oh yeah.
Good. That's what bugs need to be.
She's like, help it, save it. I'm like, no, girl, put it down.
What do you want me to do? CPR? I'm not touching that thing.
I put my mouth on that thing. You're crazy.
All right, Laura, who's next?
All right, Randy, you ready?
Yeah.
Okay. Do you prefer driving or flying?
Driving.
Street smarts or book smarts?
Street smarts.
Locked in alone for 72 hours. Eastern State Pen or Trans-Allegheny Lunatic Asylum?
How about both?
One or the other. Got to pick one.
Trans-Allegheny.
All right. Win a close game or win an award?
Win a close game.
Would you rather... I think driver flies on here twice. Yeah. All right. Would you rather investigate with the group from Ghost Hunters or the group from Ghost Adventures?
Ghost Hunters.
What never gets old? Hearing a Class A EVP or capturing a fairly compelling anomaly on camera?
Fairly anomaly on camera.
Oh, which reminds me, we have one from them that we need to show everybody.
Okay. iPhone or Samsung?
Samsung.
You're doing a solo and you can't have a flashlight or a camera with IR. Do you follow the walls to walk around or stay put?
All the walls.
This one's open-ended. So best paranormal podcast ever.
Yours.
Yay!
All right. So, all right. Bill, you're up. You ready?
We'll see.
Okay. Work hard or play hard?
Play hard.
Breakfast food or dinner food?
Dinner food.
Which do you prefer, investigating a public location or a private residence?
Private residence.
Travel in the country or travel abroad?
Abroad.
Biggest fear during an investigation: being scratched or being chased by an invisible force?
Oh, it's being chased. I can't run. I do a lot of hobbling.
You do bubbling.
We got this guy anyway. Hell of it.
All right, so amusement park or zoo?
Amusement park.
Locked in alone for 72 hours: the Queen Mary or Ohio State Reformatory?
Queen Mary.
EVP recorder or laser grid?
EVP.
Would you rather fly or have super strength?
Super strength.
Worst thing to have during an investigation: a growling stomach or gas?
Gas.
Yes, both.
Don't even start with me.
Oh, God.
You have to separate.
All right, Holly, you're up. Okay.
All right. Good job, Bill. That was awesome.
That was really great. Are you more of a thinker or a doer?
Thinker.
Stay in or go out?
Stay in.
Bucket list location to investigate: Alcatraz or Penhurst?
Alcatraz.
Funniest team member: Randy, Bill, or Courtney?
Brandy.
Find your dream job or win the lottery?
Win the lottery.
Are you more cautious or bold?
Bold.
Locked in alone for 72 hours: Joliet or the Villa, what is it called?
Belisca.
The
The Belisca Axe Murder House. Yeah.
Bliss.
Ooh,
Right.
really? Hey. Oh, the Joliet's no prize either to be locked in alone for 3 days.
French fries or chips?
French fries.
Worst fear during an investigation: tripping and falling or being shoved and falling?
Tripping and falling.
Yes.
Yeah.
Uh,
All right. All expenses paid trip to investigate anywhere you want for an entire weekend: London or Rome?
Rome. Rome.
yeah,
Nice.
that's a good one.
Yeah.
Wrong.
When in Rome, yeah.
Right? Yeah. All right. Was that it?
Yeah, that's it.
Yay!
Great job, Grace.
Great job, guys. Thank you so much. Let's first completely forgot about the photo. So why don't you guys explain where you captured these series of photos, and before I show them, and like what exactly was like going on when you captured the photos?
Well, at the convention, I ran into Dave Palmondo, who Giuliano, sorry, that
Owner of the Ghost Hunter store.
Owner of the Ghost Hunter store. Well, it's kind of funny because I haven't watched really any ghost shows in a long time because we do it all the time. So
Yeah.
he was, I was joking around with him and everything else like that. And then suddenly went to his booth. I'm like, well, holy shit, I know who you are. I actually bought some stuff from you. So I was talking to him, and he told me he was doing an event a couple weeks later at the Mansfield Reformatory, and I bought a ticket, and the rest of my group couldn't go, so I went there alone, and we had like 50 people show up there for this investigation. So I was walking around by myself, and it was just pretty cool is that I know if I'm walking around, I was being followed, so I went upstairs to the library, and I set up my stuff. And I waited for whoever it is to walk. Because first I walked around, make sure there's nothing else in there, so I could feel this thing coming in.
Yeah.
That's when I started my live on my Facebook, and I did a video. These are the pictures of the video. It actually stood there by the pole thing and actually approached me even further. And in the video, he actually after I stopped, he reached out his hand to me to shake my hand, and I was like, dude, you are like a ghost in a prison. I don't know who you are. I'm gonna shake your hand. So
I'd have been like, yeah, let's do it.
So shortly thereafter, because there were people just wandering around like I was doing, they walked in, and he just walked out by him, and then I just was continuing on the investigation throughout the night. I caught a couple of good things. Next thing was in solitary confinement. Caught a couple of good things that was going back and forth. It
Yeah.
was really cool. Really
That's
cool.
awesome. That's awesome. Okay, so are these stills from a video that
Yep, these are those from the video of the ghost that was standing by the pillar.
Okay. All right. Let's take a look at these guys. Audio listeners, we will put these photographs on our website so that you can see them. But they're pretty crazy, Laura. You got to see these. Here we go.
All right, I'm excited.
So do you see the little dark spot by the one pillar?
Mm-hmm.
That's it. That's the thing that was there.
So if you look at, like, if you go top row, left, right, bottom row, left, right, like it's really, do you see it, Laura? Like, it clearly looks like a person and like actually walking.
Yes. And as you can see, where the dark image of the top where you see the face actually gets narrow as the face is towards me.
Oh my God.
Wow, that's great.
Isn't that crazy? You can like see its like shoulders and the leg, and this is really cool. I really like this. When you said it over, I was like, what in the hell? Oh my God.
The video, I think, is a lot better. You can actually find that video on our TikTok. So he did a TikTok video of it. So if you want to see the video itself, check out our TikTok. And
Yeah.
I think it's Facebook as
On
well.
Facebook too, yeah. Yep.
Okay, cool. And will you give that handle again for your social media for folks?
Brave Ohio Spook Seekers. So TikTok, it's all one word. I believe the Facebook will say Randy Zimmerman, Brave Ohio Spook Seekers.
Okay.
There's a picture of our logo on the back of it. So
Okay.
I first started Facebook in 2010 when it first started, and it had our name on there. Then they changed the policy. They had to attach a person, blah, blah, blah.
Oh.
So then I'm trying to get back to what it used to be, so it's just going through the red tape of
Sure.
doing it with-
Right. Without having to create a whole new page and it's all crazy and chaotic. Yeah, I feel you for sure. All right, guys. Well, I want to thank you so very much for being on the show. We are so grateful. You have given us so much awesome information, advice, tips, tricks for our listeners that are wanting to get into this crazy field. So I thank you so very much. Guys, go check them out on TikTok, Facebook. They do a lot of really cool videos. I absolutely love, Holly, I love getting your messages on TikTok with the latest video that you guys have done. It's a ton of fun. And if people are in the Ohio area and they need a paranormal group to come and just kind of like assess whatever weird situation is going on in their home, how can they reach out to you to ask you to kind of do an assessment?
You can reach out to us on Facebook.
Okay.
On there, I got my phone number on the website too on Facebook, so you can call me, text me, or do whatever you want.
He's always on his phone.
Yeah, always on my.
I know, me too. It's literally like never far from me. Okay, all right, guys. So if you live in the yeah.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. It's so great to meet you guys. We really appreciate it. And this episode is going to drop next Saturday. It's going to be a full episode with you guys, and then Gary and Christina, and then Kathy and Greg. So we sure appreciate it, and we hope to have you guys back on really soon.
Yeah, come back and tell us all the
things. Yeah, Madison Seminary specifically. All right, guys.
Long. We have tons of evidence, and pictures, and stories to go over. Yeah.
Love it. Okay. All right. Absolutely. Yeah. We would love to have you back. Thank you so much.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Thanks. Bye, guys.
Bye.
Hi, guys. Okay. So that was our wonderful interview with B.O.S. Paranormal. And I love the name. It's an acronym, Brave Ohio Spook Seekers. I don't know why we didn't think about that when we were coming up with our team name with Chris and Audra, but I think it's cute and clever. So, they talked with us about what it was like to be vendors at ParaPsyCon IV at the Ohio State Reformatory. It was, both of our first times being vendors at this particular, not just this particular paracon, but their entire, like neither one of us had been vendors at a paracon. So they set the bar really fucking high. Really fucking high. It was like the luxury paracon for vendors. So I do want to warm welcome to our next guests. These guys are they were volunteers at the ParaPsyCon. They were the ones wandering around in the green shirts that you heard us talking about. They were making sure that everybody was well taken care of. They are also tour guides of Ohio State Reformatory. He led mine and Aaron Bush's group on the vendor Ghost Walk Friday night before the Paracon kicked off Saturday. And he is a fantastic tour guide. It is not easy to be a tour guide of a haunted location. I was a paranormal tour guide here in Raleigh, in downtown Raleigh, and it's a lot. It's a lot to remember, to say, to keep the guests engaged. And then on top of it, he is one of the lead paranormal investigators as well. And he knows just about everything there is to know, as does Christina. So guys, let's welcome Gary, Allen, and Christina Krish. And we are super excited to have you guys. Welcome.
Glad to be here.
Hi. Okay. We have a lot of questions for you. So why don't we just jump right in? Laura, I'm going to let you take it away because as always, I just talk and don't seem to take a breath so that you can say anything. So you just start.
I mean, that works for me too sometimes. All right. So we're going to start off really easy. So how did you guys get involved into paranormal to begin with?
So I started in paranormal in 1996. Started back in high school, group of buddies of mine and their mom. Actually, we started doing investigations and it just kind of blossomed from there.
Love it. Love it. Now, did you do investigations like you were allowed to be there, or did you like do what me and my friends did and kind of sneak into some places?
I'm the fifth on that one.
Okay.
Back in 1996, paranormal was still pretty taboo. It was young. There wasn't many TV shows out there other than Unsolved Mysteries.
Yeah.
So we may or may not have had to find our way into some places.
Gotcha. Okay. Sounds fair. Christina, how about you?
So I've actually only been ghost hunting for about 2 years.
Oh,
When I
okay.
met Harry, and he got me into it. I actually used it as a pickup line to, hang out with him. Like, oh, you're a ghost hunter? I grew up in a haunted house,
I love
So,
it.
Yeah. So
I love it. Yeah. I think
That's a
that,
That's a new line I haven't heard of. I like it.
right?
It
I think
worked.
I was just going to say, as long as you're like in those same circles, it's definitely a good one.
Yeah, as long as they're not going to run. Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
No, I'm not into that.
Yeah. And which is what a lot of my boyfriends have. They've been like, really? That's weird. So yeah. Now let's talk a little bit about Ohio State Reformatory. We've covered the location here on the show. And we've actually, it was, one of our first 10 episodes. We're going on 4 years doing the podcast. So OSR was one of our first, in our first 10 episodes. So we did a revisit of it right before the Paracon. So our listeners are very familiar with it. Even if they haven't ever listened to our show or our episodes on it, it's a very iconic, famous location for a number of reasons. But we want to ask, and this question is for both of you as well, what about Ohio State Reformatory appeals most to you guys?
The building. The building is incredible.
Really cool.
What a storied history that building has.
Yes.
And it's a privilege to be allowed to volunteer there. And obviously at ParaPsyCon, we're not working as volunteers of the Reformatory. We're actually there as part of Tri-C Ghost Hunters.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, for sure. Christina, how about you?
I have to sort of agree. When you drive up on that building, you almost feel like it's your second home.
Really? That's
Yeah.
wonderful.
Yeah.
So now I have a part two to my question. How many hours would you guys say that you have spent there, just as a guess?
Um,
Or how many hours a week or how many hours a month do you guys spend there?
I usually spend, from a volunteer standpoint, we have a lot of volunteers that are there. There's a lot of volunteers that have been there a lot longer than we have. But I personally am there roughly 150 hours a year.
Wow. Damn. I would love that so much. Christina, how about you?
I've been a little behind on hours because of my job.
Sure.
But I mean, I'm a little behind him because I work weekends and he usually goes and,
The busiest
does
times.
his walks.
Mm.
Yeah. But
Yeah.
I'm going to start being able to go again. So that'll be great.
Oh, awesome. All right.
Yeah.
Cool. All right. Laura, your turn.
All right.
We're just going to bombard them with questions.
It's kind of, sorry.
Yeah.
So when did you get involved with OSR? And in what capacity what are you guys currently doing there when you have the chance to go?
So we are actually volunteers under Tri-C Ghost Hunters. We're all still volunteers at the Reformatory, but we got in through Tri-C Ghost Hunters. And so basically my role there is as a volunteer to assist guests and also to do the paranormal tours, which are the ghost walks on Friday nights, and to assist with ghost hunts.
Awesome. And he is perfect at it. He's so good. We had the best time. Oh my, I literally cannot stop singing your praises because I've been on a lot of paranormal tours and you are truly phenomenal. So you guys go and visit and then ask for Gay.
Yeah. So Tri-C Ghost Hunters is actually the resident paranormal team of OSR.
Okay.
So that, like he had said, we actually are the team that puts on the event ParaPsyCon. It just happens to be at OSR.
Right.
But again, you can sign up to be a volunteer there. So.
Okay. Now, how many investigations of OSR would you guys say you've done?
Oh, probably investigated probably about 10 times. Actual investigations.
Okay.
Probably 10 times.
Okay.
And that there were some even before I started volunteering there and before I became part of Tri-C Ghost Hunters. I actually had gone there and done overnight ghost hunts.
Oh, okay. All right. Cool. Christina, how about you?
Honestly, I'd say it's only been 3 or 4 times maybe, because really typically when we go there, it's to work.
Sure. Right.
So
Right.
we don't get a whole lot of time to just investigate ourselves.
Okay. Yeah. That makes sense. It's you guys book out pretty far in advance, I would imagine, for like overnights.
That I don't know. I would assume so.
Okay.
On our end of it, what we see, I honestly don't know.
Okay.
So are any of those investigations like ones that stand out the most for you guys about, what happened or your experiences?
There's been so many experiences there over the years. Just as far as the different opportunities we've had to ghost hunt. We've had a lot happen.
Is there anything that you found that was particularly creepy that like is something that you will always think of each time you're there?
Yeah, there was a situation where we saw an entity that definitely caught our attention, was very unusual, seemed much darker than anything we had seen before. It was an interesting experience.
It made the hair on the back of your neck stand up, for better words.
If I had hair on the back of my neck.
Wow. Okay. So,
is that the creepy thing?
The gray entity, yeah.
The gray entity.
Wasn't it a friend of yours, Carrie, that had wrote a story or something?
Yes.
And we said...
in front of you and Aaron's?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, he had never even heard the story I told.
No.
It was pretty close description-wise.
Oh my God. Yeah. It's... So when you, like... to say that, so then everybody knows, guys, it was a reformatory, and it housed first-time offenders in the beginning. And then there was it Columbus at the prison had burned down, and they transferred those prisoners to Ohio State. And those prisoners were like the violent ones, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
So I would imagine that like there are a fair share of maybe not like dark entities as far as like the prisoners go, but maybe malicious, maybe a little bit. When you talk about the gray entity and how it was a different beast, if you will, that has to be something pretty remarkable, because we've all seen a ton of shows about it. Is it the West Attic where they were housed, those prisoners at the time? Okay. And I would imagine that a lot of the maybe more aggressive hauntings happen in that section of the building. Am I incorrect in saying that?
I would agree.
Okay. So to think about those types of prisoners that were housed there, and the kind of activity that is currently in that particular part of the building, for you guys to say that there's another one, this gray being that's a little darker, that's kind of freaking scary.
It is. And actually, I mean, I've done a lot of investigations in different locations, and it seems like almost all of the locations I go to has something similar, maybe a little darker than everything else in the building.
Yeah.
Trans-Allegheny.
For sure.
Trans-Allegheny definitely has a dark entity on one floor that seems to like to be there.
Yes, for sure. We have investigated Trans-Allegheny twice, and it's that fourth floor alcoholic rehabilitation, the creeper, is just not... Yeah, for sure.
I couldn't even go on the floor. Like,
really?
No, I couldn't do it.
There are some places that are just like the vibration on in those areas are just, I call them sticky. You know, like if you were to be on that floor, it would just be like something that just kind of coats you in ick. So the fourth floor there is for sure. I definitely picked up on it in the West Attic of OSR as well. So Laura, on the ghost walk, they take us up to the West Attic, and it wasn't, they didn't have it open when they were kind of letting us wander around. We went into the chapel and all of that. They didn't have it open, but we go in there and they shut all the lights off, and it's just a bunch of us in this dark attic, and the vibe in there is just like, and we're in the middle. So there's like the end of it, and then there's the door with one doorway, and it's far away. And if we wanted to run, like we wouldn't really know which way to run because it was pitch black up there. It's a very different feeling from the rest of the prison that you got to experience. Especially, I would say it's a little bit darker than solitary. Would you guys agree?
It's dark.
Yeah.
It's pitch black.
Yeah. And Laura, you got bad vibes out of solitary at OSR.
Yeah, that one cell.
Yeah. It's just not that great. So tell us a little bit about being volunteers for ParaPsyCon. What is it that you guys do as volunteers?
So as volunteers for ParaPsyCon, we're there obviously volunteering for Tri-C Ghost Hunters, which is the organization that runs ParaPsyCon.
Right.
It is actually an honor to work that event. It's fantastic because we get to work in a capacity where we're assisting the guests, we're assisting the vendors, and we're assisting the celebrities. We're making sure everybody has what they need and everybody has a great time.
And you do amazingly well. Like I said, you guys really raised the bar for first-time vendors such as us and B.O.S. Paranormal. We were like, we expect this at every Paracon we go to from now on.
Right? I want to be treated like the star that I think that I am.
Exactly. Right? Right?
Certainly try to make it that way.
You absolutely do.
No, it was just everybody was so nice, and yeah, always making sure that we had what we needed. If we needed water, or they'd be like, "Hey, can I get you coffee?" I'm like, "Just show me where it is. I will go."
Yeah.
Line over there, But it was just
Unbelievable.
everybody would come by and just check on us and just chat and see how things were going. It was really nice.
Yeah.
And what's nice is you can see us from across the facility because we're in nice, brightly labeled clothing.
Bright green. Yes, for sure. Christina, what do you like about being a volunteer at ParaPsyCon?
It's such a well-organized event.
Yes.
We all come together, and it's like a family reunion for us because we don't get to see a lot of our team members throughout the year because we all live in all different locations, Cleveland, Columbus, Cincinnati.
Yeah.
So I really enjoy being able to see everyone because I've made some really good friends out of being on Tri-C Ghost Hunters.
Isn't that wonderful?
And I've made some really good friends with vendors. Gary's a little closer with some people. So I love it. I love it. You get to meet so many great people.
Yeah, it's really wonderful. Not just like the networking for the vendors and things like that, but like you said, new friends. Like you guys are now our new friends. Like it's just such a wonderful community. So Laura, tell them a little bit about some of the things that we experienced at our booth, and let's see what their thoughts are, because I know we have a question for them about that.
So it was mostly a couple things happened to Erin Bush when she was at our booth. She had her hair pulled, right?
Yeah.
Tugged. And then what else was it? Was she kind of touched?
Yeah, she got
grazed. Or...
Yeah, by nothing when she was at our booth. Yeah, EMFs were going off.
Yeah, we did have some EMF stuff.
And then I know, Gary, we had asked you at one point. We were down by the elevator, and we had asked you. We talked about this with B.O.S. Paranormal just a bit ago about how you there were set parts of the reformatory that kind of felt like you were on a boat, like you kind of felt dizzy and like the floor was wobbling. And I remember we asked you if that was, are we dreaming that? Is that common? And you said that actually was common. That was something that we felt at our booth. And I think Holly said they felt that at their booth as well. Do you often have vendors having experiences at their booths?
A couple over that weekend mentioned it to me. You guys were not the first that weekend that had brought up the fact that it felt just kind of like a rocking boat at times.
Yeah.
And again, I've experienced that at other locations as well. Not sure what in the paranormal world it relates to, but it definitely can feel like that at times. Almost like you're in a time warp.
Kind of, yeah. And even Laura, you felt it too, right?
Oh yeah, especially when we would go downstairs in that little break room where you can go outside.
Oh, off the elevator? Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
And it's not like the elevator is fast or you know what I mean, kind of making you feel wobbly. It was, you'd be down there for a while and still be feeling it, kind of just off, even a little bit outside.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And it's not that the ground is weird or sloped or,
anything like that. It's certainly not moving. Yeah.
No. Right. Yeah. There's no waves.
There's no
waves.
The building doesn't shake.
Yeah. Right. So, yeah, it was wild. And just almost everybody we talked to a lot of people had that feeling.
Yeah.
So.
Do you often hear, do vendors often or at all come to you guys in either this year or in prior years and just kind of say, hey, there's some weird stuff going on at our booth, Erin getting her hair pulled and something touching her arm? And do you guys hear that from other vendors aside from the,
Yes.
the dizziness? Really?
Yes.
It
happens pretty frequently.
Does it? Okay. All right. I feel better. I mean, I was loving it. I was we've got our EMFs out. They're going off. It's really cool. But yeah, I've never been again, first time at a Paracon. Generally, the Paracons we've been to have been at what, hotels? Like we went to one at a hotel. Yeah, 2 hotels. Gettysburg is at a hotel. Con Carolinas was in a hotel. But to have a Paracon be at an actual haunted location, there was activity the whole time. It didn't matter the time of day. It didn't matter where you were. It didn't matter what day of the week. It didn't matter what was going on. It was super busy. There wasn't a lot going on. There was constant. Now, do you find that that's the norm for OSR?
I always tell people paranormal's not on a light switch. There are some days where it's on, there are some days where it's off, and I can't turn it on or off.
Yeah.
But I think being at a haunted location for a Paracon like that definitely makes it a lot more fun.
Yes, I agree. And I think that there are certain, I think the energy that is brought there by the different vendors, be it they're selling crystals or be it they're doing tarot readings or they're selling the creepy dolls or...
Kryptonite as well, so don't feel bad.
Right? The Ouija board. So I think like just the energy that the vendors are bringing in, I think that kind of can contribute a lot to the activity level in a location. I think there's a lot for the spirits to see and do there with us all being there, you know what I mean? So we had a really, really great time. So, Laura, why don't you ask them about the volunteering?
Oh, I think we did.
If someone wanted to volunteer.
Oh, okay. So
Yeah.
if somebody did want to volunteer, they would have to contact whom? The Tri-City or?
No, if they wanted to volunteer you're talking for the reformatory?
The convention next year.
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
Yeah,
so actually that is all Tri-C Ghost Hunter team members.
Is it? Okay.
It is exclusively Tri-C team members. We, Greg and Kathy do a phenomenal job running the event. And then it's our team members through Tri-C.
Okay.
We're the ones that are coming and volunteering at that point to work.
Okay. And then if they wanted to volunteer for OSR for like the history tours or Shawshank or whatever,
they would want to reach out to MRPS, which is mrps.org, which is the Ohio State Reformatory's website. Okay. And they would have to go through the administration staff there.
Okay. All right. Cool. Is there like an interview process that they do?
It's a little different for everybody.
Is it? Okay.
That would be one thing. I don't know a whole lot about the interview process as far as that.
Okay.
My end of our end of it is a little different because we're through Tri-C Ghost Hunters.
Sure. Okay.
Which we did have to go through an interview process to be on Tri-C Ghost Hunters.
Sure. Yeah, that makes sense. Cool. Okay. So what do you guys think? Why is it so important to now history and of course, Shawshank Redemption aside, speaking primarily about the paranormal activity at OSR? Why is it so important to shine a metaphorical light on the paranormal activity there? Why is it so important?
I mean, for me personally, it's because of the fact that, paranormal is not everybody's cup of tea.
Yeah, true.
But it's become a mainstream thing. There are so many people now that are interested in the paranormal thanks to some of the great TV shows that are out there and the great podcasts that are out there. It's becoming more mainstream. And, for things like our ghost walks, that money all goes back into the restoration of that building.
Yeah.
And same thing with ParaPsyCon. All of our proceeds, and I'm sure Greg and Kathy will mention this as well, that all goes back into the restoration and the preservation of that building.
Yeah, I agree. I think that's super important. Christina, what do you think?
I think with any location, a lot of times the history of the building relates to some of the paranormal activity.
For sure.
So to learn the history of somewhere, I mean, that's what we do best as investigators, is learn the history, what may have happened there, so it's best for us to know the knowledge of there
Yeah.
to be able to relate it to anything that's happening. Is it residual? Is it, because of a story that happened there, something, so like when
Right.
people ask us at ParaPsyCon, a lot of times, we need to know about the building.
Right.
So,
Right. Yeah.
yeah.
And it's important. I think for any location, not just OSR, but even like Trans-Allegheny or Eastern State, it's important to know the stories of the people that lived there.
Yes.
Thinking about Trans-Allegheny, Dean Matheny, the guy that was killed in the bedpost murder room, his story is important. He's still there. His murderers are still there. So a lot of the inmates that are at OSR, their stories are just as important because they are part of the history. Sure. So it's I love that all of the money goes back into restoring these buildings that otherwise would have been lost to time, as a lot of them around the country have been.
Absolutely.
They don't have people like you guys, like the people that own and manage and run OSR, to preserve it. And it deserves to be saved. These buildings deserve to be saved.
Sure.
Yeah, for sure. Now, Laura, you've got the final question for them. And this one is for each of you. We like to ask all of our guests this question.
So what is your advice for new paranormal investigators?
Mine is to jump in head first. If you want to do it, if it's something you're interested in, do it. Go.
Yeah,
you don't need
hesitate.
a lot of money to start in the paranormal. All you need is a notebook, a flashlight, and your senses. And go into these different places legally. I'm not saying you should ever go into any place without having permission. But
So for me, again, when I got into it, it was more the personal experiences for me, really, than it was recording, getting EVPs, things like that. But again, it's really not that expensive. I mean, all you need is a digital recorder, an EMF, like flashlights, and you can really honestly get some really cool evidence.
Yeah.
So you mentioned flashlights.
Yeah. Yes.
Right.
Most important.
Yes, for sure. And that's the fun thing about it is, and I think, Laura, I think you would agree as well. I know I did in my very first investigation. Once you have an experience, situational awareness is something we talk about a lot on this show. Is something that the folks that trained us as investigators really hammered home, like what was going on, where were all the investigators, what was happening in that moment. But when you have a something happen where you know that there could be no other source for the sound that you heard, or the whisper in your ear, or the rush of air coming by you, when you know there is no other explanation for it, it's exciting. And it's like, I need to know more. I want to know more. And once you have captured that first EVP, or go, hear that oxygen machine when there weren't any in the building, there was no open window, you just want to know more and more and more, and then learn from all of these places, whether they're super old and historic like OSR, or they are, a private residence, or they're just like, there's a bridge here in North Carolina called Lydia's Bridge, and completely free to go to. It's a little difficult because it's outdoors, obviously, but super haunted. People go there all the time to investigate this bridge. Find it. I agree with Gary, don't you? I agree with both of them. Like it doesn't cost a lot of money, and if you're into it, find like-minded people. Go on a public investigation. Go on a public ghost walk of some of these locations.
There are so many of these locations that offer them. There's no excuse not to go.
No excuse. And they teach you everything. Like there are some locations that give you the equipment and they're like, here's how you use it. Have fun. Kind of a thing. I know with the ghost work that... Oh, go.
Sorry.
No, go ahead.
Your phone is pretty much nowadays all you need. It's flashlight, voice recorder, video, your camera. Like you have everything basically in the palm of your hand, besides an EMF. And I think people are downloading that now onto their, like, there's all kinds of apps you can use.
There's an app
for that. So you're just yourself and your phone, you can pretty much do just about everything that we do right with your phone. You don't even need anything else. You
really don't. Sometimes some apps though
aren't the best.
I don't believe in the apps. Yeah, I'm not super into the apps, but
people use the Ghost Tube or like the ones that generate words.
Yes,
I don't really trust that because unless it's really direct responses, and I said, "What color shirt am I wearing?" and it says black. Okay, maybe I'll trust that. But I use Notepad all the time, like the WordPad, and that's how I record. And I love that because you can actually go on there and, look at the voice, and see it.
Yeah.
I mean, so
ooh,
I do that a lot. Yeah.
I haven't heard of anybody that uses that. We're going to try that next time, Laura. That's really cool.
That and voice memo.
Cool. Well, that's what I'm.
Yeah.
Voice memo. I'm sorry.
Voice memo. Yeah. It's really not hard, guys. I know that a lot of you want to know, like, where can I find equipment? How much does it cost? Honestly, I got all mine off of Amazon. Pretty much. I mean, it's not, there are places like Ghost Stop, I think you can buy equipment, but it's very, very expensive. Like it's way too much.
The Ghost Hunter store is actually another really good one. They're a little bit more reasonable in their prices.
Oh, good. Okay. So check that out too, guys. All right. Well, Laura, do you have any other questions for them that maybe we didn't think of to write down? I think we've asked them everything. Yeah, you guys, all of you. Now there's with Tri-C, there's like 42 of you guys that are volunteers that run the Paracon or work the Paracon.
There's I'm trying to think of how many actual team members we have now. Yeah, it's right around that number.
Yeah.
Is it? Okay.
So Tri-C Ghost Hunters is divided into 3: Cleveland, Columbus, and Cincinnati.
Okay.
But we all come together for that event. And it, like she said, it's like a big family reunion.
It is, yeah.
Because there are people we don't get to see too much throughout the year and then get together
That's
for
wonderful.
3 days. And
That's wonderful. I do have one question. Do you guys ever go, like just the two of you, to go and like investigate a location that maybe you guys have always wanted to go and do? Or do you just typically investigate like with your team?
we can actually go on our own. And, there are times where we've gone to different places. I've had a friend reach out and say, hey, I think this place is haunted. Can you come check it out?
Yeah.
But I like to include the team because honestly, you get more equipment, more people, more ideas.
Yeah.
And more thoughts on what could be happening. So we try to do everything we can through the team.
Okay. That's cool. So yeah, did you ever go anywhere for like fun? Like if you were to
actually going on a trip the first month of August, and we're going to the Jailers Inn in Bardstown, Kentucky.
Oh, damn, really?
We get into a bed and breakfast, so we are going with the team, and we get to actually investigate while we're there.
That's a lot of fun.
That's fun.
Yeah.
That's
and
cool.
We've gone on a ghost walk in Louisville, Kentucky. I highly suggest it.
Yeah.
Because they take you through like Millionaires Row, where they have all the historical homes. They have some really cool stories about like
make it a bucket list.
Yes,
trip for sure.
Amazing.
Ooh, okay.
Yeah.
And it's right by Waverly Hills Sanatorium.
Yeah.
So
And we've been there with the team.
Well.
Yeah.
There's a lot in Kentucky that I would love to go and do and explore and check out. I actually think we've got Bobby Mackey's is on the list of episodes coming up.
Ghost walk.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's exciting. Super fun. Yay. Well, thank you guys so much. We really appreciate it. We wanted to showcase you guys and the hard work that you put in to make the ParaPsyCon so amazing and successful for not only the attendees, but the vendors and the celebrities. I'm telling you, it's like luxury experience for vendors for paracons. Yeah.
I mean, our vendors truly are a huge part of that event.
Yeah.
They are.
We can't do it without you guys.
No.
Yeah, it's so much fun. We had the best time walking around, checking out everybody's booths. Although I'm not going to lie, I've said it with B.O.S. Paranormal. I'll probably say it with Greg and Kathy. Wide around the creepy dolls. Walk wide around that booth. I can't do it. I just can't.
Otherwise, and they're watching you, so like stay away.
Not going to happen.
Yeah, I think... Yeah, no, I can't. I just can't do it. Well, as we did let you guys know, we have a segment here on History of a Haunting called Get to Know Our Guests, where we ask you guys lightning round questions. Now, you guys have different questions. We're going to start with Christina first. And basically, the rules are very, very simple. We're going to give you, we're going to ask you a question, give you the choice of 2 different answers. You have to pick one of them. You can't interject a third. You can't say no comment. You've got to pick one of them. Okay. And you don't have to defend your answer. You don't have to explain your answer. We don't want you to do that anyway. The listeners don't care. Just go with it. Go with your gut, okay? And answer as fast as you can. They're going to be really simple, I promise. So, Christina, here we go. Do you prefer driving or flying?
Driving.
Street smarts or book smarts?
Street smarts.
Okay. Which do you prefer, investigating a public location or a private residence?
A public location.
Okay. You have to be locked in alone for 72 hours. Alcatraz or Joliet?
Ooh, Alcatraz.
Okay. Win a close game or win an award?
I'd say a close game.
Okay. Would you rather investigate with the group from Ghost Hunters or the group from Ghost Adventures?
Ghost Adventures.
Okay. What never gets old? Hearing a Class A EVP or capturing a fairly compelling anomaly on camera?
An EVP.
I agree. You're doing a solo and you can't have a flashlight or a camera with IR. Do you follow the walls to walk around or do you stay put?
I mean, follow the walls.
Okay. And lastly, this is an open-ended question. What is the best paranormal podcast ever?
History of a Haunting.
Yay! Okay. You won. Doesn't matter what Gary's answers are, you won. All right, Gary, you ready?
Yep.
All right, here we go. Get it done first or wait until the last minute?
Wait until the last minute.
Okay. Read the book or watch the movie?
Watch the movie.
Me too. You have to be locked in alone for 72 hours. Eastern State Penitentiary or Trans-Allegheny Lunatic Asylum?
Trans-Allegheny Lunatic Asylum.
Okay. Would you rather have more time or have more money?
That's a trick question. I'm going to say time.
Okay. All right. What is the better, or what do you prefer to use more? EVP recorder or laser grid?
EVP.
Okay. Coincidence or fate?
Coincidence.
Okay. EMF detector or thermal camera?
Thermal camera.
For sure, yeah. Sleep in or take a nap?
Take a nap.
Do you kill bugs that you find inside or do you take them outside?
I absolutely kill them inside.
When investigating and something startles you, do you scream or do you flinch?
Flinch.
All right. There we go. See? Easy, guys.
And my favorite podcast is also History of a Haunting. So
Yay. Okay. There's a tie. Thank you so much. Yes. So now you guys got to know a little bit about another set of our guests. And guys, we want to thank you so very, very much for being on the show. I can't say enough wonderful things about you and the work that you guys do. Everybody that are volunteers that do the history tours, the paranormal tours, everybody that runs Ohio State Reformatory. It is a truly wonderful location. And even just driving down that driveway for the very first time to turn that corner and see that building, Laura and I were like, whoa, like there's just really something
Really cool.
magnificent about it. And so on behalf of everybody that goes to the paracon and is a vendor and just does the tours there, you guys are doing a wonderful job. And we are very grateful for all of the work that you do to make sure that the history is preserved, the stories are told, and you know, the thrills and chills are being given on your amazing ghost walks and paranormal tours. So we thank you very much for being on the show. And yeah, do you have anything else to say or ask or do, Laura? No? As usual, I just talked all the time.
Yeah, pretty much.
Cool.
That's usually what happens.
All right. I do have one more question actually for you guys. What, aside from you guys are going on a trip in August, what is coming up next for Tri-C or at Ohio State Reformatory that you want to promote? Any big events at Ohio State Reformatory or anything like that folks can come and see you guys at, or at least the Reformatory?
We are super deep right now into planning ParaPsyCon V already, believe it or not. So
Yeah.
come see us again in May.
Yeah.
Yes. And it's always the third weekend in May, right?
Yes.
Okay. All right, guys. So if you want to be vendors, sign up now, because seriously, they book up immediately and then they have a huge wait list. So if you want to be vendors, and I highly recommend it, sign up immediately. And then, yeah, it's a ton of fun. They have celebrity meet and greets. Just do it. Just do it. Always go see them. Just do it. All right, guys. Thank you so much. We certainly appreciate it. And this is going to be actually released tonight. So I would say by 9 o'clock, the episode will be up on YouTube and then on all of the podcast channels. This is the end of part 1, guys, of the ParaPsyCon Recap. And we will be back on Tuesday morning with part 2, where we sit down and have a conversation with Greg and Kathy Feketik, who are the ones that are in charge of the whole kit and caboodle of the ParaPsyCon. So we ask them a ton of questions and see what it's like to actually like plan and execute a event of this size. So in the meantime, Gary and Christina, thank you very much. We appreciate it. Bye, guys.
Thanks, guys.
Bye.
Bye.